still waiting for that special someone to enter your life? Either that's a person you know or you don't. But you're waiting for that relationship to come in and complete you or save you. If this is so and you are still waiting, then maybe you want to watch this video. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about how to become the person we are looking for vibrationally. And I'll explain what I mean by vibrationally. And no, I will not talk about positive vibes and positive thinking and, don't think negatively. Because in reality, an unconditional lovingness, if that word even exists, and unconditional beingness is actually being able to be with ourselves and another person in our highs and our lows, not conditionally. So we wouldn't want to do that to ourselves. We wouldn't want to be conditional with ourselves because most of us are, right? And we are conditional when we love the positive thinking, the positive emotion, the positive feelings, the positive, sensations in our body, and in the negative ones, we freak out. We go in war with ourselves. We're like, no, I want that fixed, changed, gone. I don't like those thoughts. Take them away. Do something with them. I should do something with them. Somebody else should do something for them. And if nobody can, then I start reacting and projecting. And, that's really conditional beingness. And therefore, in that kind of state, the only people we would attract are same, if not similar, if not same, right? That are not comfortable with their shadows. They're not comfortable with their fears and their insecurities, and they want to hide them, they judge them, they project them. So those kind of relationships, when we have that kind of relationship with ourselves, it's very challenging to actually want to, enter a relationship with another person, because if we ourselves are having difficulty with whatever is uncomfortable or we judge as wrong, then when somebody else mirrors this back to us, we will judge them and they will certainly judge us. And if we are at war with our negative thinking, emotions, feelings, and our shadow, we don't want to know it, then guess what? We will find a person that will not want to know that part of ourselves either, and we won't want to know that part of them. So if we are not in a relationship yet, and we are still not in love with getting to know that undiscovered part of ourselves yet, then maybe it's a good idea that we're not in a relationship with someone just yet. And maybe subconsciously we know that, so that's why we are not in the relationship we want. Of course, we can grow with the other person. Absolutely, we can. And in order to do this, we just need to start getting ourselves there. And when I mean there, I mean to actually start doing the work of, integrating our shadow self, integrating our negative aspects of ourselves, and start to fall in love with the process of getting to know ourselves. That way, we're actually focusing in the here now, focusing on ourselves, which is, the version that once it becomes more and more integrated, right, will attract that significant special other. While we're focusing inwards, though, focusing on actually loving and falling in love with getting to know and discover ourselves. And because most of the time, if we're just sitting around and looking outwards to see if somebody's coming and where they are, and and we're not focusing inwards, that's getting us stuck in time. Because the moment we start waiting and looking on our outer world for who's coming and who's not, we are actually neglecting our beautiful selves in that moment. So yes, back to falling in love with ourselves. my question would be, if that special someone was here right now today, how would it feel? And do I feel safe and good, or do I feel a bit like, oof, I'm not ready, you know, maybe I don't feel as beautiful or sexy or comfortable or safe, or I feel like, I'm not like that person if they come in, you know, and they like me. Like, what are those thoughts, emotions, and feelings that come up when I say, okay, let's say your special someone is right here next to you, on the chair, on the sofa, on the floor, wherever you are in your bed. How does that feel if you're cooking together in the kitchen, if you're on a date at a restaurant, on vacation, on some island? How does that feel? If there is nothing there, it's you know, it's kind of challenging for me to feel that, that's fine. If negative emotions and feelings come up, then those are interesting to want to get to know more. You know, because those are parts of ourselves that are showing up and are calling for our attention. So once we start to love those parts of ourselves that show up negatively, we start calling them in and wanting to love them. We are integrating bits and parts of ourselves that we have until now disowned. And this process is becoming the relationship, because we're in relationship with those parts of ourselves more and more. That's how we start focusing inwards instead of outwards. Now that's the first part we could look at to see if there's any negative emotions to the thought that he or she is right here with us. How does that feel? They're already here. They're not in the future, they're not in the past. They're here. How does that feel? And now the other question would be, how does it feel that they are not here and they will never come? Whoa, now that's a very, very, even the dogs are barking at this statement. Now this is a very, very kind of harsh statement and belief, but most of us actually have this fear ingrained within us. So in order to be able to heal and feel through it, we would want to call it in, bring the worst case scenario and say, wow, how would it feel if no one would come? This thought alone helps us come more in the here and now by feeling the lack, maybe the grief of, you know, how long we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So if we bring in the worst case scenario and actually allow to feel it, maybe we will be more present. Yes, it will be painful and scary. And after feeling through this thought, the scary thought for our ego, you know, we will be able to be more present with ourselves in the here and now. So one thought is that special person is here. The other one is they will never come. How about that? So in that thought, they will never come, that fear, once we allow to feel it more and more and more, actually brings up our fears from the subconscious so that we can integrate them and start to create a relationship with all those shadow parts of ourselves. But once we start integrating, we become the version that it is in relationship with ourselves and that other person. That is our significant other reflection, other whole, right? So, okay. And now the waiting. The waiting is a, something that we do to ourselves, basically waiting. We are in a constant avoidance of reality in the here and now, of our present moment when we are waiting. We are basically not allowing to feel our bodies in the here and now And we are focusing on some future that never comes. And time goes by instead of just allowing to fully feel. And how we allow to become more and more present is to actually feel the sensations on our body. And we can all actually see how we avoid to feel our body by, our different habits of escaping, watching television, eating, being addicted to people, friends, just wanting to talk, to escape ourselves, basically. And so how about if we just sat there in stillness and connected to our body and didn't need any exterior stimulus to be with ourselves? Does this feel a bit uncomfortable? Well, if it does, it's perfect, because that means we have more room to bring up our fears so that we can welcome them and love those parts of ourselves. And you see, vibrational integration means that whether I'm in a positive state or a negative state, I am with me. Vibrational alignment, right? To become whole. It's not about being positive. It's not about being negative or not being negative nor not being positive. It's about allowing for every moment to reveal to me what needs to be felt. And whether it is good, I'm here with me. Whether it is bad, good, bad, I'm here with me. This is unconditional beingness. This state of beingness with ourselves creates that more and more safety so that we can build a trust within ourselves and beliefs that support a loving and beautiful relationship, because we are in relationship with ourselves. So it's not about changing our thoughts. It's not about changing our vibration or changing our emotions. Because even this, the change itself, is about trying to fix something and make it right, because it's wrong. How about if each and every moment is exactly as it's supposed to be, and we're just here with ourselves, right here, right now. So integration means allowing what the Buddha called suffering, chasing the positive and resisting the negative, allowing the positive to leave and escape, since that's what it's doing as we're chasing, and welcome what is chasing us, welcome the negative. And this is how the two parts of us that are split, the positive and negative that are split, they start integrating. What I do to the negative, so when I push it, its opposite positive does to me, it pushes me. I call in the negative, what does the positive do? Come and find me. If I come towards the negative, its opposite positive comes towards me. And that's how I become integrated from the two splits, the two parts that split. I allow them to connect. And so this is vibrational integration, where it's not about being high or low, or not being high or low, or being one and not the other. No. It's about just being here with me when I'm high, here with me when I'm low, here with me when I'm neutral. I don't know what else there is, but here.